Welcome back, Dota 2 fans. Game 2 Grand Final. Faceless versus Mineski. MRP Kefka here for the SEA qualifiers. Winner of this series going to move on to the LAN finals. Join the likes of OG, EG, Newbie, IG for the best teams in the world. And Faceless, after what seemed like a good early game, a good laning decision from Mineski, they throw the Lifestealer mid. He gets tons of farm, grabs a couple kills off his first couple of infests. You know, they almost feed off of Ice Ice Ice, but you know, if for nothing else, just a lack of team fight execution and an inability to get to the back lines for Mineski ends up spelling their doom in game 1.
Yeah, it was a pretty hard game after you reached a certain point where Slark was so big that you couldn't even touch him. You had to execute the team fight so well in killing one hero at a time until there was only Slark left, or bursting the Slark, which was not happening that game. It became very hard, and Faceless, it looked pretty easy at the end, but it was like their itemization at start, they went 2 Midases, and eventually it worked out, and they just got so far ahead, and they took the game.
First pick going the way of Faceless this time in the hands of Mineski last game. What they're looking for.
Nyx Assassin. What a surprise.
They go right back for it.
I think it Nyx Assassin first pick. No, it was Earth Spirit first pick last time, yeah. I don't think they're gonna... I think Mineski might avoid Earth Spirit, honestly. I think he didn't play horrible, but it wasn't a top performance for sure. There was a lot of questionable, both mechanical and decision making from Adam that game, I think. It was... compared to the earlier series, it looked like a completely different player. Yeah,
he seemed like MVP caliber, definitely, early on today. They do go back for the Earth Spirit, but they're going to steal up the Warlock away from Faceless, which is unequivocally their most picked hero in the tournament earlier on. So definitely something that they're very comfortable leaning back on in fights, and we saw kind of the potential in the way of counter initiation that it offered them. So Mineski gonna pick it up for themselves here, although this is a hero that Nyx is pretty good at killing off. So if they're not, you know, diligent about keeping detection and vision up, you know, the inability that Mineski had to get to the backlines and kill the Warlock last game may not be quite as big a problem for Faceless this game.
No, we're gonna see Nyx Coddle up opening. Probably not the same laning as last game, but not Warlock. You're not gonna give that away. I'm not sure if they thought it was a huge problem or just felt like they had to kill it, and I don't want to play against it again, because it's very hard to play when you know that you have to kill this hero no matter what, because your lineup cannot deal with that hero, even though the hero is 2k net worth and everyone else in your team is like 10k plus. So they might just like, we don't want to play against that hero again, and that's fine. And call Nyx, there's that lane is, you need to have something good against it. We saw Warlock was safe lane with a carry. You can kind of sustain that carry, so it can be safe, pretty safe. But you need a hero that, like Jagger and Nyx I talked about mostly. And those two might be banned both, honestly. I wouldn't be too surprised. I would be more surprised if both of those are, either one is left out.
Yeah, Juggernaut already banned by Faceless, as you were mentioning it. Definitely the two safe lane heroes that are, at least magic damage wise, not quite as vulnerable as the remainder of the pool. You know, still potential for something like an anti-mage to be in the hands of Mineski there, but not necessarily something they play Raging Potato on all that much. He plays, you know, a lot of Lifestealer, a lot of Luna in that safe lane, so we'll see which direction they look to go in. Definitely are building a pretty scary 5-man unit thus far, so something like Luna, not entirely, you know, unmanageable, but again, it's, if you put a Luna Warlock in that lane, more than likely you're going to need at least some attendance from your Earth Spirit in that early game, which is going to make his movement a little bit more predictable and perhaps allow Faceless to get trades elsewhere across the map.
A lot of time spent on this ban, actually. Like, we're up to a full minute now, more. And I'm not sure what they would... We've seen like TA banned a lot, some ALK bans. And I'm thinking, like, since I think Faces will ban either TA or Nyx, and I think Nyx most likely,
Mm-hmm.
Can they ban the Timbersaw? I guess they felt like Timbersaw did better than he should have that game, which I think as well. So they might ban it. So they don't have to deal with that one hero that kind of can do stuff that a lot of heroes can't when it comes to laning and counter. Like if you go 3 people on him and you don't burst him in 2 seconds, he's gonna kill you all potentially.
It is the Lifestealer ban. But we'll see what Mineski end up picking up for that safe lane going forward in the draft.
TA is left now. I wonder if they'll pick it up. I feel like this is their chance, right, to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that bad so far either. I mean, it's third pick TA might be a bit early, but it's been banned every time so far. So I don't think it's early if it's getting banned every time.
Yeah, not a single team able to pick it up yet today. I've seen them run some Brewmaster actually as well. Mushi's Queen of Pain and Lina are always, something that they prioritize. So there's potential for them to pick that up. Any sort of 5-man hero is Mineski's playstyle in general. Even the Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit actually first phase banned again by Mineski.
Yeah. Omni Knight. We're back to this now.
Okay, so core Omni, 3-position Omni, I suppose.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're looking for a TA still. Could be something different. Normally, I would like my off pick would be Medusa, but it's not a good Medusa game, so I'm wondering what they will go. I feel like TA seems more likely. I mean, I feel like it's weird if TA isn't picked this game or touched after having it banned all the time. And then it's good with Omni Knight as well. It's a great pick here, I think, especially for Mineski. There's Troll hasn't been touched today.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm surprised.
It's a pretty popular hero, especially in EU. I feel like it's picked a lot, and I'm like, wait, this hasn't been touched all day. So I'm like, is we're gonna see that? I feel like that could be a hero you bring in here.
Definitely with the Omni Knight. I'm surprised we haven't seen any support Silencer all day. I figured maybe against the Warlock and the Omni Knight that could have been something that the Faceless look at. Nice. But they do end up going for the Witch Doctor. Not the greatest into GA. But as you mentioned, just kind of a good poking here. Great base damage with the Caskin lane is pretty good zoning hero. So against potentially is what's going to be an aggressive tri lane with the Ormley Earth Spear +1. They do pick up the Witch Doctor, kind of disjoint that aggression. But TA, there it is. It ends up coming out now for Mushi for Mineski.
Yeah, now the only thing I'm hoping for now is a Nature Prophet. So that's what I'm hoping for now. I got my TA. It's Nature Prophet's time. We've seen Nick's mid today, previous game. So could be a Furion and put him offline. It could happen.
I mean, Nyx gets stomped by TA though, doesn't he?
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's some kind of magic and he wins.
Orb of Venom, right? You just go Orb of Venom. Maybe. It solves all your problems.
I mean, you could put Furion mid, actually. That's a great pick.
Yeah, Furion could work mid.
Prophet, 71 base damage with an, not base, but 71 damage with an all. 3 hands, you deny everything, TA gets nothing.
It's pretty good with the Nyx as well. You can kind of TP in as he's ganking. But I doubt we'll see that this game, unfortunately. I was hoping to see it today. We saw it in the last couple series that Faceless was playing, so unfortunately they don't lean back on it. But Resident Sleeper, we're going to have a Naga game, and very good with the Keeper of the Light as well. Just keeps her on the map and farming all the time. So I really like that combination. It remains to be seen how she fares in lane. Like, Naga's a high armor hero, but low base HP. So Omni Knight with the pure damage could definitely pose some problems early on. See how they fare in lane.
Klingspan?
It's a black hero for sure.
Yeah. It's okay. It seems okay. I was like, seems kind of awkward to fifth ban it, but it's like you get a lot of space creation heroes then, and you like always have to be afraid. There's a Nyx, there's a call to call people in, there's a Klings hunting, and then meanwhile the opponent's Naga is farming. So it's pretty scary. Luna ban, yeah, I think that's a good ban. I think the only thing you're afraid now is some form of 5-man ending the game relatively early.
It's a signature Raging Potato hero. It's Mineski's playstyle. They have the Omni Knight, they have the Warlock, so it makes perfect sense to be able to ban that out. Still a Terrorblade on the field. I feel like Mineski could go in that direction.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder Faceless could go. I wonder if they want to pick up a Slark again.
It definitely fits the bill of space creation. You can tango it up with the Nyx.
Faceless Black Hero. They don't want a hero like Terrorblade or like insane heavily farmer, but they don't. I don't think they want like a full-on space creation hero. You want something like Slark, Flinks that can farm relatively good and usually Tiny. Oh yeah, they played Tiny. Yeah, I forgot about this. I think it was in Mineski. I don't know. I was looking at stats and then I saw like Tiny suddenly. I'm like, oh, there's Tiny potential.
Yeah, and Chakra Magic pretty good with the Tiny, but more so, Shadowblade Blink build is typical of it, and being able to burst an Omni or a Warlock could be a big game for them going in towards the mid game in these team fights. It definitely fits the bill of space creation. I was looking something more traditional, like you were saying, but Tiny works. It makes Terrorblade kind of terrible as well. Speaking of, a hero that just has low base HP, high armor, Tiny just bursts through him.
Yeah. Seems a bit worse now. But Tiny is not good against 5-man either, so you get it's riskier because he can kill you, but your 5-man is even stronger. They have 1 second to choose.
Anti-mage.
Ooh. So they're going a completely different route. Seems okay. I mean, your TA anti-mage is like you don't really want those in the same team. Like that doesn't synergize very well.
Yeah.
But it can work for sure. Naga games kind of tend to become something like this. Either you go like very weird late game draft and you pick like TA Anti-Mage, or you go for something YOLO to end the game. And we're gonna see this time an Anti-Mage, which is very interesting. I like this. It's pretty good safe lane against Nyx Coddle as well. You have like you're pretty good there actually.
Yeah, that's what we touched upon in the very first phase of the draft. Once the Jugger and the Lifestealer were banned, the Anti-Mage still not bad. So definitely can allow him to lane maybe with just his Witch Doctor. Or sorry, just his Warlock.
Yeah, you can have to like you heal your Anti-Mage and you play lane passive, like I talked about last game. I think that could work out. Faceless doesn't have like aggression in their lanes. They don't have a roamer again. It's Mineski with the roamer, so you just play static lanes, and the Earth Spirit is forced to win the lanes for Mineski. So I think it's gonna be a hard game for Mineski. Even I think their draft is worse than it was previous game.
I like the first 4 picks. I'm not sold entirely on the Anti-Mage.
Yeah, I'm not sure how good that hero is now. It could be cool. We're gonna see if it works out. It seems like the Battlefield rush is like it's too slow, but that's basically what you have to do, I guess.
See how this Tiny gets off. Black gonna be actually picking that up towards the safe lane.
Yeah, I wonder how he's gonna play it. I think Tiny is one of those heroes has quite a lot of item builds. Some people
TPs.
Like, that's the new meta. Smoke TP, everyone does it. You're gonna see 5 TPs soon, 6 TPs.
On the high ground, XY is there as well. He didn't place a word.
No, he might have realized XY plays 1. TA is sitting on one of the wards. I think they might have tried to do some sneaky plays here. Adam stood near the cliff and gave the ward to Mushi, who was still smoked, so they were hoping to bait a sentry there.
And it seems like they did. At least for the time being.
Anti-Mage heading top. They're rotating lanes.
Seen a lot of that mind games between these two teams that they see each other so often.
They seem to know each other quite well. I mean, I don't think going some kind of Anti-Mage aggro lane is too bad. The hero is underrated for sure in that aspect. He's like surprisingly strong, like doesn't die, can farm, has amazing base damage and attack speed, so he like usually gets most of it. Tiny is probably gonna struggle against an anti-mage lane, honestly.
This is like probably one of the worst anti-mage cosmetic sets. Is this totally base? This is totally base. Oh no, he's got different shoulders. Alright. Someone get this man. Someone gift this man an anti-mage set, please.
This man is doing what everyone should be doing. Just use basic.
Are you against cosmetics?
I either use the. I use the ugliest set I have every time. That's like what I do. If like, there's a Mirana here that's god awful ugly, I always use that one. Stuff like that.
Yeah, so top lane they will aggro with Raging Potato. He does have the poor man's shield. He's got Warlock behind him, and potentially at some point the Earth Spirit, who is posturing up.
This is something OG would do. Anti-mage Warlock aggro dual lane. This is like OG style, I feel like.
See how they get on.
Yeah. I wonder how the other lanes are gonna go. That's like, I don't think anyone's gonna die top, honestly. I feel like everyone's gonna stand here watching each other farm.
Yeah, I don't think we see Omni Knight mix very often, but you know, generally speaking, if the anti-mage Warlock do decently 3-4-3, he can definitely find a kill mid lane alongside Mushi. We'll get one of their wards dewarded here. Avalanche thrown out top lane.
Bottom lane, I think Omni Knight is favorable, but I'm not too certain. Mid lane is.
Oh, XY.
Equal.
He's gonna get rolled on. Blink forward. Oh, nice cask though. Gonna keep Raging Potato back, and they're unable. Again, that slow duration allowing XY to kind of waltz away. It looks like he may have died otherwise, but he's gonna be able to clarity up and get back to blasting away in this lane. Mushi, meanwhile, mid lane, pretty much dead even right now with Jabs. Jab faring very well for himself on the Naga Siren.
Yeah, I think Naga usually tends to do quite well in mid. Like I think you generally, if you're left alone, you're more or less always at the same lost hits as the opponent, no matter what you're up against. Almost one of the benefits of the hero.
What have we here?
But I think Mushi is gonna. I'm not sure how much the illusion thing is. It's 8 gold. I guess it's a little bit extra, but not a big deal.
So fairly static laning stage so far, and as you mentioned in the draft, a lot of it is going to be on the back of 3-4-3's movements, Adam's movements on the Earth Spirit, to see what he can find. Thus far, just been securing the top lane, where Raging Potato certainly farming well, but you're never going to gain all that much in terms of levels on the aggressive farmer. So just looking to eclipse that level 3 mark at this point.
Yeah, I wonder how people are gonna itemize in this game, because this is a Naga versus anti-mage game. So I think like people going early Midas might be worth it. Like TA rushing Midas, like stuff like this is what can win games in these kind of weird matchups. So I'm very interested to see what people are gonna itemize in.
Everyone just builds Aghanims, right? Isn't that? I feel like that's the play.
Maybe. We'll see. Just, I mean, you can just go Midas on anti-mage or someone, and then like pull moonshots to people.
Alright, 3-4-3 back towards this top lane. Hasn't really budged much from here. Seems like they do feel like they can get a kill.
That like he over-rotated last game, so he's like static this game.
Avalanche flies out. May leave them vulnerable now.
He's using Avalanche a lot to lost it, I see. So that speaks of how rough this lane is for him.
Yeah, does have the Shocker magic, but jump forward, ice, ice, ice. And this is the problem with going on the Warlock. Has 2 heroes isolated.
This was not what I was expecting. He has like, I don't know, he has a level in upheaval. I guess it works.
No fatal bonds.
You want to chase people down in this lane, like your 2 cores, or like the 2 people in your lane want to just right click them for 10 years, so get upheaval for that.
Clarity up for ice, 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 and Radiant pulling ahead CS wise across the board. As you mentioned, Black having a rough time last hitting in this lane. Tiny, 0 base armor on the hero, so very difficult for him to trade right clicks, and does have the Shocker magic behind him, so he can kind of spam out the Avalanche more than usual, but definitely suffering in the CS department. 17 at this point to the 23 of the anti-mage opposite him. KYXY chasing down Ice 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 bot lane. will get stunned by the Orb of Venom on the Carapace.
Beautiful mechanic. Mineski are doing quite cool. Like they're winning all 3 lanes, and but it's not like by a big margin. You know, like everyone is pretty close to each other. Like,
Right.
so the lanes are relatively even. I do think Adam wants to make some form of rotation eventually to get an edge in another lane. Because, like I said, I don't think top lane anyone will go down. You're like they're rolling in on these supports and they're getting like the initiation off, but they are not able to kill them off because they don't really have that much kill potential. And that's the TP out, so he might be looking to try and kill this Nyx assassin now, who has no mana. Omnair has quite a lot of mana. Orb of Venom 2 levels in GG aura. This is definitely a potential kill.
No repel though, so are gonna have to be able to dodge the Carapace. Here's the roll forward. It does not connect. Carapace is there. He has the rolling boulder or the boulder smash, but doesn't end up popping it. And yeah, costly miss on the roll there from 343. A little bit retreat back in it, give some space in the lane. Nyx assassin gonna feel a little bit more pressure. Jabs kicked away from the rune. And
Spawn
won't be able to get it.
DD from Bushi. Do they have an HS stacks?
Oh, top lane. Anti-Mage catches a blast as well as the combo from the Tiny, but 1 level in the spell shield is enough to keep him alive in Shadow Word, as well as a Shrine. Render him healthy once again. Mushi gets that DD bottled up, has some space in the lane. Jabs. Perhaps gonna have to crow it here. But neither hero really putting much damage into the opposite tower. Everyone just kind of farming up in this early game. Do you feel like that benefits anyone? I mean, the Tiny feels a bit behind. He feels like the biggest discrepancy in this early game is that the Tiny's a bit behind. But do you feel like that benefits either side? How stagnant this early game's been?
I don't think I can like really have an answer for that, because this I feel like no matter the early game, this game is gonna go very late most likely. So I think like the early stages, it's gonna be hard to say who benefits from what, and it's very hard to say. Like I don't think either team has like an advantage in late game. Like both teams have great late game, so it's very hard to say like if a team gets like. I think Mineski are stronger at snowballing, so they could benefit more in that regard because they have road potential.
Yeah.
And then they can take towers and lock the map down a bit more than what I think Faceless have. They have slower timing, so to say.
I would agree with Mushi's start that he's probably the scariest hero going into this mid game. He has the DD. Gonna throw in some right clicks into this tower mid lane. Auto rotation coming over. It's gonna be soaked up by a refraction charge, and he will get about 50% of the HP down on the tower. Meanwhile, they know the Coddle is mid, but 343 has rotated over as well rather than trying to get something done top lane. D-Ward for Ninja Boogie, now XY. Perhaps in a bit of a precarious position. Is deep behind the tower though, and 343 only level 2. Still hasn't even hit level 3 at this point, so difficult for him to be rolling underneath the tower.
It's pretty hard. Level 1 boulder smash is pretty bad. It's basically not even a stun, so it's very hard to make plays with that spell. When it's on level 1, you kind of need it to be level 3, I'd say, before you can like reliable kill people, unless they're very low already. He is going deep though. Well, what is XY doing? Was that an Avis machine?
Yeah, it was in this.
Yeah. I wasn't watching Mushi yet.
A little greedy, far forward in lane. As Jabs does retreat to the jungle to give him his Coddle some space. Will get punished for it. Mushi grabs himself a kill, and as you would expect at this point here, nearing 9 minutes in. High up atop the net worth chart is that Templar assassin.
It's pretty funny watching top lane. They're like harassing this animation while just healing, and then like repeat for 8-9 minutes now, and they're just farming. So, I mean, I don't think Tiny's doing great, or not great, but he's doing good. Like he's not having an issue at all. He's farming very well. So I don't think they're unhappy with the laning at all. And we're gonna see a Midas on Omni-Knight soon. Nyx is queuing up on Midas. I don't think anyone else should be queuing anything up yet, at least, but it could be fun to watch. I actually think TA could. I don't think Midas on TA would be bad this game.
Mushi's stashing up 1100 gold, but I mean, likely the Desolator could though be a Midas.
Yeah, I think the Deso into early Roche and stuff like that is probably better.
They do have some pretty scary 5-man with the Omni Knight and the Warlock if they're able to pick themselves up in Aegis at any point. Coddle, though, always gonna be tough to push into for sure.
Yeah. I wonder, like, because now when an aggro trialing with anti-mage, so like both carries are under-leveled.
Yeah.
But that probably affects Tiny more, because Tiny wants to hit those nice timings with like level 10, 11, 12 with the high level damage, nuke, and then the blink and the grow. While anti-mage doesn't really care about those timings as much. So that's like an interesting aspect about doing this kind of stuff. Not sure if it's gonna matter that much though. I feel like the game is gonna go late either way.
Yeah. I definitely... It's perhaps untapped potential for the Tiny, whereas, you know, the anti-mage, he just needs golden items for now. You know, it's nice to have level 4 blink to traverse the jungle quicker, but his level certainly agreed not as important, at least at this stage in the game. And Tiny hasn't even picked up level 6 yet, just will now here 10 minutes into the game. Jumping forward, Ask not going to do much for Nuts here. He is going to look to TP out. Mana Void is there though. Could be an easy kill for Raging Potato, and he will end up getting it. Doesn't even need to expend the blink, and because it's a solo kill, gets himself a good amount of experience.
Yeah, that's some good experience right there. I feel like he would have survived if he kept running. Like, it's kind of hard for Antimage to chase, because he doesn't have War Venom, so like, if you just run, Antimage not going to be able to hit a lot. It was a bit weird of a TP. I feel like he has Mana Void, so he's going to cancel it. He's going to cancel your TP, for sure. Probably wanted to do some sick ukes, but I mean, it's not too unexpected. Antimage getting a kill of some random support running around.
Yeah.
Kind of solo is a bit weird, but...
Yeah. So Mushi going a bit old school. He opts for the blink before the Desolator. Often we see the Desolator to kind of accelerate the farm into the blink, accelerate a Roche, but goes for the more kind of aggressive build. So I guess they're going to pressure this Naga Siren. Black top lane, a little bit of an upheaval, lingering upheaval there, but Raging Potato unable to get in range for the right click.
Yeah, I think Antimage is getting scary. He's getting a very, very good farm, and when he hits the Belly Fury, he's gonna start like rising in levels and farm very quickly compared to Tiny, who has to get these kills to be even remotely close to keeping up with an Antimage at that point. So it's kind of scary that Antimage is doing this great for Faceless, and they're rotating in a lot of people right now. But Raging Potato does have that feeling of something might be weird, and they scan actually on Ice Ice. That's pretty good. A good play. They got the bottom tower, now they're getting it. That's very good as well. 2 towers so far, and they are getting a lot of control. The Midas is up on Omni Knight. Oh, Anti-Mage.
They revealed the blink on Mushi, was unable to net a kill, while Nyx does find a kill on Raging Potato.
Yeah.
So they're just able to get him with the Death Ward. Coming inbound there.
Yeah. Oh, did he must have used a Tome for that level 6, I feel like. Yeah, probably. So that's pretty good timing then. Using the Tome and getting a kill. I think he used it at least. I don't think Coddle used it.
Ninja Boogie token some solo XP top lane, just eclipses that all-important level 6 milestone. Meanwhile, mid lane with the sentry, they look to find the Nyx, unable to do so though. Looks like it's going to be a Midas for the Nyx assassin.
Oh, they know Ice is here.
Oh, they find the silence first. Meld Strike is there.
Oh, Adam.
You get the stun off. Cask is there for the moment. Should be one more right click, but he's out of the range of any detection. Is Ice.
Yeah, Adam does not seem comfortable on this hero. This is the second game he's doing some pretty basic mistakes. And what's his dead? Mushi, oh damn, that damage.
Anti-Mage inbound as well, has the blink forward, finds it onto Nuts. Nuts has no mana. Would have been a big mana void if he pops it.
There we go. Oh, sleep. The Shrine is up in 15. Ah, they need to get out.
TP out from the Naga Siren, and unable to press forward, his Raging Potato will just retreat to go back and farm. Had he gotten off the mana void on Nuts, could have potentially gotten him 1 if not 2 kills with the timing as low as he was. But a nice sleep save coming out from the Naga Siren. Was only level 1 though, so you know, near that 3-minute cooldown.
That's pretty painful. I think you can time a Roche here with the Naga sleep down. Mushi is about 700 away from Tesso. He will get it about the same time Radiance is up, but without a sleep, I think he'll get it before the rain is up, but without a sleep, they can't really contest Roche, and that could be a big timing for Mineski.
Tower picked up top lane, unfortunately for Mineski, no one to pick up the last hit, but 6 kills, 15 minutes across both teams, as you would expect from a Naga Siren anti-mage game. KYXY gonna look to just defend up bottom lane by his lonesome. And just his presence will stymie any further aggression towards the tower top lane. 3-4-3, getting behind his core and Raging Potato. Looking to find a kill, perhaps on Ice. It's underneath the tower. They'll throw down the sentry, roll forward. They don't get the silence off in time, though. And Ice will be able to Carapace and Vendetta himself away.
Adam is probably feeling very uncomfortable playing now. Like, I think he's like probably comfortable on the hero normally, but now he's like doing this basic mistake, and it's just it makes the play even worse. It's because these are some earlier the previous game we played. I think he did some mistakes, but this game it's getting worse. So I'm pretty worried that it's gonna be. He kind of needs to shape up for this game to be possible for Mineski.
And as you mentioned, they're gonna take advantage of the fact that the Song of the Siren is going to be still down for the next minute. Mushi going to run into the pit. And 3-4-3 just hanging around nearby. Got himself up some experience potentially as well. He's level 7, which is, you know, on par with the remainder of the supports in the game, but it doesn't feel like certainly he's had the biggest impact. 0, 1, and 2 thus far. Mushi though, oh, they do scout this out with the Naga Siren illusion, but now that KYXY is nearby, it'll be a relatively easy Roche, and they may even be able to defend up top lane, or bottom lane, I should say, but they do TP out the Warlock towards mid, so it looks like they'll concede the tier 1 in exchange for Roche.
Yeah, these are the timings you want to hit with TI. You get Blink Test or you get Roche right before the Radiance. It's gonna make it a lot easier. Faceless getting the tower bottom is pretty damn good, at least getting something out of it. And how many Midas are running? It's only 2 so far, right?
Yeah, 1 on each team. Jabs does have a very good timing on the Radiance though, with the Naga Siren, and
yeah, 60
already
minutes is very good.
Accelerating his farm, so could be a little bit scary. Mushi does have that Aegis and the Desolator completed up now though, so look for them at the very least to look for these tier 1 or 2 of these tier 2s.
Goodbye.
We'll find him with the Nyx Assassin, but the turnaround could be real. They get the Fatal Bonds off. Illuminate comes through, and Mushi with all his damage, easy double kill, going his way deep behind enemy lines. And you certainly got to create space with your Naga Siren, but Mana Void finds the 3rd kill. Did they have a ward there? How did they?
Yeah,
yeah, they did. So daytime.
I'm gonna assume that was Adam's ward. So you know, he placed that ward. They got a 3rd kill. He also got the stun off right before like there were attack animations in the air more or less. He got the stun off after the golem, and that I don't think they would have gotten both if he didn't manage that. So that's very good. Already redeeming himself after criticizing him just a few seconds ago. So game looking pretty good for Mineski. They're doing incredibly well. Omni Knight is almost the same form as Naga, which is very nice.
Jabs forced to pop the song. Not nearly as big a commitment at this point in the game since it's level 2.
Had an Arcane Rune as well.
Yeah, it does pick up the...
So, almost a level 1, level 3.
Picks up the Arcane Rune is going to help accelerate the farm as well as, yeah, make that a little bit less painful. But either way, Mushi still balling at this point.
Almost like Anti-Mage has a Bird-Fury nice, and then like watch, and he has a Yasha as well. He's doing incredibly good.
He's keeping up in farm with the Naga Siren currently, even after picking up the Radiance.
This is looking very good for Mineski. However, like it kind of looked good last game, and it kind of just ended, kind of weirdly. So, but it's better than last game for sure. And I still want more Midases. Where are the Midases? Why is it only 2 Midases? There should be 3 Midases. This Earth Spirit should have a Midas soon.
Yeah, he's died a couple of times. It looks like he's gonna back off for the Blink Dagger at this point. He did have it queued up in the quick buy at one point, but it's gonna look to fight earlier. Mineski feeling like they have an advantage, which certainly they do. Trying to press it here. 7,500 gold, 10,000 experience though. in the Radiant's favor.
Black is queuing up on Veil. It makes sense to an extent. I mean, the hero is magic-based damage for a long time, so it's not insane. And I think his talent tree is very nice for intelligence build.
Oh, they get the
I
cask
don't
off.
think he has mana for Blink.
No, he doesn't. He has to tread swap it, and he still didn't have enough. Repelled
And
up.
the dust is ending.
Mix Assassin makes it away.
Yeah, that was
Kinda.
pretty clutch.
Trying to cancel a TP there, perhaps. Find the kill in the back. And
Oh, yeah,
Mushi
Tweed and
is
Invis
being
on,
Radiance burned.
Oh, he can blink out in 1 second. He can still blink out. No, he can't. Maybe
Oh,
he
does
kinda
dodge
wants
the
to die, I
impale,
think.
but gets
Oh,
tossed up.
that's-
Aegis is there, and now jabs. After the rock is
Earthquake.
dropped, he'll just stop this.
Naga gotta be careful because Earthquake can stun from outside the sleep range. And Adam wasn't there in time, unfortunately this time, but you can't rely on that. So doing plays like that is super risky. You might straight up lose a game almost because of trying to do plays like that.
Roll forward. Let's get the kick off. Mushi just 2 right clicks.
Good plays.
They do get the stun off onto Mushi. There's no more Aegis at this
Black
point.
has no stun.
And Black will toss him up and finish him off. Definitely the more worthy kill for Faceless's side. Still, though, they're pressuring this tower. Adam rolling up to the high ground and does not get hit by the avalanche. Does he have the toss in time? He does. Cancels the TP. 3-4-3 with a kick away. Black has a blink in 4. Trying to go for the neutral deny, and he will get it.
Oh, like there's no way, and then the Ice shows up, so the blast happens.
Hadouken. Able to finish him off, so Black not able to find the kill, but they do get an exchange of Mushi for their XY Coddle, so Faceless still fairly...
Yeah, it was looking very
Happy
good,
with
and
it.
then like this Warlock Golem used on nothing, trying to bait Mushi, but not coordinated correctly, and then they end up diving too far. I think the play looked good, but then backfired hard, and now you're suddenly this Tiny is very farmed. There's 3k gold on him, and is closing in on the course of Mineski.
Still thinking about perhaps going for this Veil with that nice influx of gold. Maybe he looks in another direction, perhaps.
Oh. Another
Assassin?
time where he doesn't silence before, and Ice just keeps out.
Playing against the Nyx, perhaps a little bit different on the Air Spirit. Rather than going for the boulder toss, we go for the grip, but Ice will be able to make it out. Meanwhile, Black farming does end up completing up the Veil, and he will ship that
Pretty
out.
interesting. So I wonder what he's gonna. So I'm assuming he's not gonna go into the right click at all. Then, if you're going this, you're probably sticking to magic damage. So you're gonna go like
E-Blade?
Shivas maybe, and maybe E-Blade Dagon later on, stuff like that. Is what I'm assuming, because it seems a bit odd to go into Blink, Veil, and then right click.
Jump for 2-man impale. Black's gonna be there as
That's
well.
a
Gets the
good
Veil
call.
off. Mushi is dead. Rock comes out, but it's a bit late. They get the net off, but the Manta's already there for the Anti-Mage. He's so farmed. Death Ward will finish off Ninja Boogie. They do catch 2 more on the back lines. It's Anti-Mage. Black has his full combo available here. Will he get it off in time? He does. And Anti-Mage is going to drop. Ice finds out KYXY. And again, Mineski with a good foothold in the game. And somehow, dragging it back is Faceless. And they take a massively decisive teamfight win in the mid lane.
Yeah, they don't seem on the same page compared to like Mineski. They had a lot of plays where they seem really coordinated, and then they do this as well, like where they like completely seems very confused on what each other are doing. And the second game in a row where I feel like they have the potential. They are so close to almost destroying Faceless. Like they're winning in every kind of way. And then as this happens, then they get wiped.
Yeah, they were near a 10k net worth lead and over a 10k experience lead at one point, but they're dragged back now, almost towards parity. And 343 will deny up the last tier 1 top lane. So still, during that time of the Aegis where they dive high ground and kill Mushi.
Tiny.
Yeah, it is going to be E-Blade.
Yeah.
It's really good against AMTA for sure. That's kind of.
I mean, yeah, I think it's very interesting, and I think it's fine. I feel like this kind of stuff is pretty good generally. Like you have one core who's like Naga, who's like that does Naga stuff, and then your other core is like doing a bit of random stuff that counters. Adam, very underfarmed. Can't really initiate without a blink either on people. So like Tiny is very, you can't really initiate on Tiny.
Yeah.
You need to blink for that. And Anti-Mage is farming very well though still. So that's basically what they're relying on. Mushi is still farming decently as well, and they have a Midas running on Omni-Knight who is doing incredibly well as well.
Yeah, the distribution of farm for the Radiant certainly very nice, but I mean, Ice. Blacks recovered well. Ice doing well. XY almost at his full ags here, only 100 gold away. So.
Oh, Nuts also going.
Sorry, XY I should say.
Yeah. They're gonna get 2x on their supports relatively soon. It's pretty damn good. It seems like a very good axe game for Nuts as well. The Guardian Angel is good, but
I told you everyone just build ags, man. That's how you win.
2x. It's only 2x so far. I mean, Tiny's not going an axe, so.
Yeah, E-Blade.
He's going on Karin now, actually. I think it's better. I think I like this more actually than the E-Blade. I think you can go into an E-Blade later. You don't need it early.
Ice. Stalking. Has a sentry down in mid lane, so feeling fairly comfortable.
Yeah, Roche up in about a minute, I think, if I can read that correctly. That's basically what Mineski needs. They're not able to win fights without it.
And it feels like Faceless are well aware of that with their TA, their reliance on getting that Roche, and they're gonna hover around the pit right at this exact moment.
Yeah, Anti-Mage. Got the Basher going BKB next. He's very strong. Mushi and Anti-Mage are super strong. Smoke up now. I feel like the Golem needs to be on point though. It's been one good Golem and 2 mediocre ones, I think. Or 1 mediocre one and 1 bad one, rather, maybe.
And they're just having a little difficulty dealing with the lanes, all in all. Even with a Naga Siren.
Yeah,
got
back split pushing.
TA and Raging Potato with the Battle Fury on the Anti-Mage. Black top lane. Pushing down this tier 2. Mushi gonna try and take him out alone. He'll just go Scepter and TP away though. Now no Mushi in the mid lane. Do they look to initiate? Ice blinking forward. Can't really find anyone.
I think Warlock is gonna get sacked here.
In the trees. KYXY able to make it out. Cask flies across the map to find him.
Oh, he's committing it.
Cask does find KYXY across the map on the Omni-Knight. Big magnetized. Jabs is gonna be forced to pop the sleep. Do they want to re-engage here? They don't have their Tiny just yet. And they will end up backing out. The mechanism from KYXY going to keep Ninja Boogie alive.
Oh, Raging Potato. Damn. What do you call it? Coddle died to the... What's it called? Fatal Bonds?
Maledict, I think. It was the Warlock, I think that...
yeah, then it's Fatal Bonds.
Yeah. Fatal Bonds.
Yeah. I'm not sure why they're not rushing though.
Not sure how he could die to Maledict when it's on his team, but...
Yeah, this was gonna be nice and not pointed out.
So this will give them the opening to go into Roche, so very headsy decision there from Ninja Boogie. I mean, you know, we both just kind of considered him written off, but...
I'm like, I'm not dying, I'm committing my golem. I'm not giving up. It worked out. That's the second Roche down. And Anti-Mage is getting very close to BKB. Mushi went MKB, which is pretty unusual nowadays. I think you generally just go Bloodborne. But Naga has the Radiance and might go into stuff later, so it's kind of fine.
Yeah, it felt like that kind of small power peak we saw out of Black a moment ago has faded pretty quickly. Still though, I mean, Jabs is farming at a fairly alarming rate. But as you mentioned, it's almost as if Mineski have two heroes doing that in both Mushi and Raging Potato. And Raging Potato has the kills to match as well. Even KYXY, you know, Pipe, Mech. That Midas certainly paying off for him.
Setting up behind Mushi.
Mushi has no refraction up. Oh, but he did pop it before the tiny combo, and that's enough to keep him alive for now. Spike Carapace will keep Mushi at bay. But just unfortunate timing there for Black to initiate. Had he gone in just a fraction of a second earlier, they maybe get that kill on Mushi. KYXY was nearby, however. So.
Oh, this Naga is in trouble, actually. Does Earthbeat has a blink? Do they know it's real? They might not be sure. Oh,
XY. The sleep from Jabs. He pops it, trying to save them, but then just decides to back, as he probably wouldn't have even made there in time. Another couple of kills. One going the way of Raging Potato again. 5-2-0 on this Anti-Mage, nearing 300 CS, and he has topped the Naga Siren in the way of farm now. Things looking very good for Mineski in this this second game, looking to push it to a third. As
Adam
Mushi
is stepping up big time. Damn, he is playing really good right now. That stun was like, I did not think you could two-man stun there, but he got it like right on the edge of both.
Yeah, and mid lane as well, when they turn for the rock, he comes in, hits a multi-boulder smash into the magnetize, kind of winning the last couple of team fights for them, if you even call that bottom lane skirmish a team fight. But they still have the Aegis now. They'll get the tier 2 mid lane. Tier 2 bottom lane very healthy still. And Jabs, you know, doing what a Naga Siren does, is able to delay the push for now. But still, I mean, Mineski are in no rush, really. They have Mushi and Raging Potato farming both very well.
Yeah. Going into this on Anti-Mage versus Naga, if Anti-Mage finds the real Naga and like just sticks on him for like 2.5 seconds, Naga is probably gonna die. So like this is, Yabs is very worried about that fact, and I feel like Mineski probably wants to be a bit more proactive and get a bit more stuff. The diff blade on TA is actually huge because of Tiny going Z-blade, so you can remove that and you can make the item almost useless. Not useless, but your same mechanic is gone because of this item decision from Mushi, which I think is great.
Yeah, not a bad item on the TA either. In general, helps out the anti-mage in some ways, burning a little bit of mana. So. Mixed Assassin looking for Shiva's. E-Blade, it was completed up by Black instead of, you know, stopping off for that Octarine core. Nuts though, you know, it felt like 20 minutes in he was only 2 components away from Mags, and now 30 minutes in he's only 2 components away from Mags. XY, bottom lane, could be in a little trouble. Gets the mana leak off and the blinding light.
Nuts going down mid.
And Mushi will find himself a solo kill on the TA. This will mean the tier 2. Oh, okay. So Adam as well.
Adam is stepping up big time. It's incredible, actually, what the difference is. Black is pushing very well, though. He's going into Dagon now. He's like everywhere. He's like, yeah. Maybe we'll change that later. But his talents are quite good for this stuff. He can go mana regen next level, and you can perma spam then. That's 14 mana regen is a lot. And then the 20% cooldown reduction with a. I'm assuming you go with that, even though avalanche damage seems nice as well. Still doesn't seem as valuable.
Yeah.
I think, at least. There's some nice stuff. Not sure, like, if there's any big talents though. Like looking at Omni Knight, he has the Midas. He went XP talent at level 10, but it's not like insane talents he has. Like nothing ridiculous like Ember Spirit talents. They are nice, but not insane.
Nice. Doing a little scouting. Looks like they pinged him out, but no detection nearby. No radiant scan used as far as I can tell either. I had some idea of his whereabouts. They do pick up a gem on KYXY as well. And, you know, they've shown the ability to push these lanes out, you know, at least 2 at a time. One with the anti-mage and one with Mushi. They've got the Coddle for recall as well, so they should be able to establish, you know, some semblance of map control, even against this Naga lineup with this gem pickup.
Oh, bottom. Ice is trying to space crate, yeah. Oh, he didn't take far though.
Now the silence is there. from Adam, and again, free kill for Mushi off the back of 343's plays, and he's going a Hex on Mushi here. Now Abyssal Blade and Hex to potentially deal with this Naga Siren. It's gonna be very hard for her to kind of outskirt the fights typically as Naga Sirens do, and they'll just run through this tier 2 bottom lane with ease.
Mushi, you got a Hex pretty soon actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty interesting. I think TA Hex is fine, but you don't see it that often, so it's a bit rare. Black is split pushing pretty well though. I actually think that Mineski will lose this when the sleep comes out and stuff. Black is actually getting out.
Net is going to find Mushi. He'll meld for the time being though. Just outside of tower range. Sentry is going to be dropped. They'll throw out a cask.
Pretty lucky. If he was in tower range there, that could have been horrible, I think. So, a bit fortunate for him. But they didn't trade as well. Top tower is very close to dying. Well, they didn't do any damage on the tier 3 more or less.
Yes, unfortunately at this point in the game, Black might be better off with the right-click base build, but still gets enough work done on the tier 3 to stifle the attempt top lane of Mushi and co. Still, as you mentioned, Mushi very close to this Hex, so about 1,000 gold away if he forgoes buyback for that, and that could be a huge ramp up in power for them with the Blink Hex initiation as well as the Blink Abyssal. Raging Potato picks up the BKB as well, so just kind of getting rid of the Radiance burn, not worrying about the Tiny combo is really nice for him, and he can just kind of stand on the front lines and right click alongside his TA.
I think it's unnecessary item here, even though you kind of want to get it later if you can, but you're gonna have to get it eventually most of the time. Adam got a gem, and he picked up XY's gem. Ninja Boogie got the Glimmer from earlier. Not gonna go into some sick late game where you see like Ags, Refresher, Warlocks. That's probably not happening, even though this game could go for an hour more and he's probably not gonna have that.
AYXY, only 1,000 gold to his name. Feels like he's had these items for quite a while now. But he did complete up the Greaves, just had Pipe Mech and Brown Boots.
Yeah, I think he bought the gem himself, right? Yeah, so that's like, that and Greaves is like a lot of gold. You're not really gaining items for a long duration when you do stuff like that. Faceless is pretty well though, like they're getting the towers. They're like right now they're doing better map movement, and they are closer to getting a tier 3 than the Mineski are, which is not that good. You against like Naga lineups, giving away a tier 3 means Shrine's gone for free because he just sends solutions here and there, slowly takes them down. So that's not really what we want to have happen.
Yeah, it definitely feels like, considering the state of the game, that the building trade should not be even.
They know it's not. They know the real one is here. Oh, they're trying to dodge the
Radiance burn. Jump forward. He is gonna catch Chaotic Offering as well as the Geomagnetic Grip. He can't get off the sleep as the Hex reveal from Mushi is there. Jabs down 66 seconds. Well executed gank by the Mineski squad, and Black immediately looking towards mid lane to try and split push out. But top lane vulnerable.
I think he has to buy back. I think they're gonna force it. He has a lot of gold, so he doesn't want to, but I'm confident he has to. Are they gonna take a fight at the same time, or are they just gonna force them back?
Recall in. Black is
I don't think they're chasing.
Back top lane, but yeah. Seems like without Chaotic Offering, Ninja Boogie will TP himself back out towards mid lane, and as will the rest of Mineski. Distract themselves from any further danger, farm up the enemy jungle in the meantime. And these two flash farming cores in the TA and anti-mage more than happy with really hurting the Naga Siren economically there.
Warlock went Shadow Word cooldown over cost range. I feel like this is not how you do it. Don't you go cost range? That seems much better.
Probably,
I never thought about it, but I feel like this is wrong when I just look at it. But I'm not confident either. We didn't go Mana Void cooldown? What is this Antimage doing? 20, okay, it's 20 seconds cooldown, never mind that. It's if it's 10 seconds, it's great. If it's 20, it's like useless.
Into the Roche pit they go. Mushi melds up the Roche, and this will melt real quickly. Whether or not it's scouted, they do have a sleep ready though. Jabs?
This is scary.
Jump forward. They will be able to get the Aegis onto Mushi, and now Ice in trouble. Jabs, he's going to pop the sleep, but they got the BKB off on Raging Potato. He's got the Abyssal Blade as well. Mana Void is there. That's a dieback for the Naga Siren. Ice in trouble as well. Roll forward from Adam. He blinks up. One last swipe with his staff. Double kill going the way of Raging Potato. Aegis into the hands of Mushi. And Naga Siren down, guaranteed for 60 seconds. None of the waves in a particularly advantageous position for Mineski,
but
drawings
are coming out. There's time to end the game. Naga no buyback. I think they want to win right now. They didn't lose Aegis, right? I need to check. Yeah, Mushi has it. Yeah. There was a Sheath though. Yeah, Anti-Mage has it. Oh my god, they didn't do anything.
Blink Hex. Carapace did get off there, but with the repel up, Mushi no cares about Blinding Light, and they'll finish off the Nyx Assassin. It's a dieback for him, so 25 seconds, 2 heroes off the board. Easy, at least one lane Arax here, if not two. Yeah.
Wonder if they'll force a third as well, trying to fight the Naga while Nyx is dead. Probably not the best decision, but they're riding the wave right now. They're dominating. Adam is playing amazing. Everyone is doing great. Warlock is hitting, doesn't even have to use golems actually.
Yeah, and still Aegis in hand for Mushi. 7 Diffusal Blade charges. Hex is in the backpack currently, but there takes off the E-Blade and gets to work. Repel takes off the E-Blade. He'll slow down the Tiny with the Diffusal. Mana Void. Nets another kill, and GG is called by Faceless. Mineski, after looking like in Game 1 they had a sizable advantage in throwing that away. In Game 2, kind of the same story happening, where that little window where Tiny picks up Veil and they kill off Mushi twice. But Raging Potato, he was just, you know, the extra kind of ace in the hole for Mineski, and him and Mushi just get to a point that Jabs can no longer contend with them. Black had a pretty horrible start. It felt like the early game was largely even, aside from the Tiny's farm being lacking, and that turns out to bite them in the rear going in towards that early late game phase. So Mineski finally able to take it down with that second Roche. Really good showing from them in this one, and it definitely feels like, as you mentioned, 3-4-3, kind of getting his wits back under him, feeling a little bit more comfortable in this game. That one fight mid lane where we wrote the Warlock off, he gets a 2-man stun, and then the next fight bot lane where he gets another beautiful boulder smash really helped propel Mineski to this victory.
Yeah, some really impressive plays, and showing, like, even though they were like, it was looking like Game 1 all over again, and they still managed to win. That's the most impressive thing.
Exactly. So Mineski tied it up 1-1, guys. As we obviously hope for the final game, going to be deciding who's going home and who's going to the Manila Masters LAN, alongside easily the best 4 teams in the world right now. So SCA Dota, the best of the best here. Mineski taking on Faceless. Game 3, Kefka, MRP, Beyond the Summit 2. We'll be back shortly with the final showdown.